Today in this video, I'm going to be going over the 2024 playoff picture. First, I'm going to explain the situation before Week 17, and then I'm going to explain how Week 17 impacted many teams. Let's see who's in and out of playoffs. Firstly, here are the teams that are still in playoff contention. Some notable teams such as San Francisco, Dallas, and even Arizona are no longer in playoff contention. Even teams such as the Jets, who were supposed to make a big boom this season, did not live up to fruition. Let's first start with the most insane situation. Currently, the Falcons and Buccaneers have a very tight race, but the Buccaneers have two easy games to finish out the year, and if they can manage to win both and have the Falcons lose at least one, they're in the playoffs. However, the Falcons desperately need to beat Washington in order to make the playoffs. Even then, they'll need the Buccaneers to lose. This Falcons and Buccaneers race to the playoffs is looking like the Buccaneers are probably going to win it, but good luck to both teams. Next up, I'll keep it short and sweet, but Seahawks fans, I'm sorry. This is probably not your year. You only have a 0.1% chance to make the playoffs. You guys are going to need a miracle to make the playoffs. Next up, the Broncos currently hold a solid playoff position, but the Bengals and a couple other teams are pretty solidly right behind them. It is looking like the Broncos are probably going to pull away, but the Bengals did have a pretty good upset win against the Broncos in overtime. The Bengals have an 18% chance to make the playoffs, and they only need three main things to happen. They're going to need the Broncos to lose, and they're going to need to beat the Steelers. Finally, they'll need the Colts to lose one of their last two games. So not impossible, but not really that probable. For the Broncos, it's really simple. They just need to win in Week 18 against the Chiefs, and they're in. There's a good chance Patrick Mahomes and some of the starters won't play because the Chiefs are already in the playoffs, so the Broncos are probably really happy right now. The Colts, however, need to win their last two games and have Miami win their two games, or instead of Miami winning, they're going to need the Bengals to win Week 18 against the Steelers. For the Dolphins need to win out, and they need the Colts to lose one of their last two games, and they need the Broncos to lose in Week 18. Whew, that's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. That was certainly very complicated, but now that that's out of the way, this is going to get a lot simpler. All the teams here are currently in a playoff spot, but some of them are fighting for a division, or even if you're the Lions, Eagles, or even Vikings are fighting for that number one seed in the NFC. Week 17 just ended, and the scores definitely shaped the playoffs way differently than I would have ever expected. Firstly, the Colts lost, which now take them out of playoff contention. This was a devastating loss as their playoff chances are now completely gone. The Falcons also lost to the Commanders, which will now propel the Buccaneers into the playoffs. The Falcons have a very low chance at making the playoffs now. Finally, the Miami Dolphins picked up a win which will increase their chances by a lot, but it's still looking like the Broncos will pull away with that playoff spot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you want to see in the next video.